there have been a lot of props given to a Republican organization that hates Trump called the Lincoln Project. They've been putting out some pretty vicious ads against him. But I think that some of that love, or a lot of that love, should be directed toward a progressive group known as MeidasTouch. And recently, they took a dig at Trump in a campaign ad, in a political ad, I should say, where they used Kellyanne Conway's comments about creepiness against Donald Trump. Let's take a look.
A lot of really creepy statements, actions for sure, but statements that he's made in the past that make me very uncomfortable, certainly as a mother, but as a person who breathes air.
You're going up the escalator? I'm gonna be dating her in 10 years.
Really creepy statements.
If Ivanka weren't my daughter, perhaps I'd be dating her. You know?
Stop it. Oh, it's so weird. Stop. You know what? You are sick.
It makes me very uncomfortable that he would look at certain other Americans the way he apparently has in the past.
What does Tiffany have of Marla's?
She's got Marla's legs. We don't know whether or not she's got this part yet, but time will tell.
What's the favorite thing you have in common with your father?
Either real estate or golf.
Donald, with your daughter?
Well, I was going to say sex, but I can't relate that.
He's definitely not a typical father.
Creepy.
Awesome. That ad was great. And it also creeped me out, like big time. We've heard Trump make those statements about his own daughter before. We've talked about it before. Every time I hear it again, I have the same reaction. Like I feel sick to my stomach. I could never imagine, like I can't imagine my father. Like it's, I can't. It's so disgusting. I can't imagine. It triggers the gag reflex immediately. Like it makes me want to throw up. I can't believe he said that publicly, and he's made comments like that multiple times.
So Kellyanne Conway, of course, was referring to Joe Biden, and I love the way they took it and applied it to Trump instead. And boy, does it fit better. They both might have issues, but Joe Biden's never threatened to have sex with his daughter. And on the escalator, he's referring to, like, I think a 10-year-old girl, a 10 or 12-year-old girl, when he said, I'll be dating her in 10 years. Who thinks like that? Who looks at a 10-year-old girl and thinks, can't wait for 10 years from now?
The kind of guy who hung out with Jeffrey Epstein, that kind of guy.
Exactly. The first clip was him and Jeffrey Epstein partying, and so there you go. So it's entirely possible. Look, out of all the weird, terrible things in that ad and all the things that Trump has done, the one that is most inexplicable is the one where he said, "What do you have in common with your daughter?" And he said, "Sex."
Yeah. What? That was the one that like made me gag. Like, why would you? What? Why would you say that?
Literally, why would you say that? I don't know what that means. How do you have sex in common with your daughter? And what? He's such a weirdo, man. And so it's about time that some Democrats, and in this case, of course, it turned out to be progressives, figured out how to fight back, right? Mm-hmm. Democrats don't make these kind of ads, the establishment Democrats, because they don't want to offend Republicans, because the Democratic consultants have the same donors as Republican consultants. So they're like, oh, kids gloves, right? And in this case, it's a progressive group, and they're like, no, let them have it. You want to talk about creepy? Is that the conversation we're having? Great, let's have that conversation. Finally, if they ask them now, what attributes does Tiffany have in common with Marla? My guess is his answer would be, who's Tiffany?
Well, that is the best answer he can come up with, honestly, these days. Better than anything else that I would suspect from his mouth. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's totally true. And Tiffany Trump, if they told her, your dad hasn't mentioned you in a long time, she's probably be like, yes.
When you sign up for a spend and save account at aspiration.com/TYT, we will plant 10 trees. Let's save the planet together.